everyone, to day 3 of Nature, Relationships, and Wellbeing online forum hosted by the ANFT. We've had 2 full days of wonderful presentations, and we're ready to start our 3rd day. Just a reminder to everyone, we're having a little glitch with Zoom, so if you can rename yourselves, if you hover your cursor over your picture on the screen and tap on the 3 little dots on the top right-hand corner, you'll have the option to rename yourself. So if you can do that, that'll help us to know who you are. And to start us off today, we have the absolute pleasure of having with us Natalia Laverde. Natalia is the director of El Bosque y La Niebla Foundation, and she's the co-owner of La Ilusión, Nature Preserve, where she leads research and socio-ecological reconciliation processes since 2007, amongst other things. Natalia is a forest therapy guide and does wonderful work, and she'll be talking to us today about forest therapy applied to an ecosystem restoration process in the Colombian high Andes. Thank you so much, Natalia, for being with us today, and we're looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Gita, and thank you, ANFT, for give us this opportunity to share about our story and listen the voice of the cloud forest too, because today I'm not going to talk about myself. Maybe it's the forest who is talking through us, through ANFT and through me. So let me share the presentation, the screens. Okay. Let's share. Now I'm having trouble sharing. I'm sorry. Or not. Are you seeing the presentation?
Yes, we can see it, Natalia. Yeah.
All right. So I am a social communicator and a journalist, and I always have been interested in the ways we communicate and different codes of communication, not only words, but the non-human communication processes as well. So today we are going to talk about a little bit how we have been living in the cloud forest and how the forest has taught us the way to restore it. I would like to remind this sentence from Ludwig Wittgenstein. I love it. It's one of my favorite quotes. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. So I will try to share the voice of the forest in the mornings today. So let's see if it works. Are you listening? Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
We can hear it, Natalia.
So this is the cloud forest saying hi to you all. And this soundscape was recorded by Juan Pablo Culazo from Sonidos Invisibles. And Juan Pablo is one of the top world experts in recording sounds from nature. And I would like to thank him for this amazing piece. A little bit of our story. We all was this quest started in 2007. We were looking for a place where we can recharge from our stressful jobs in that time. So after looking or after visiting many places close to Bogota, the capital city of Colombia, we found a piece of cloud forest that was partly conserved and partly deforested. So in that time, Sergio, my husband, he's an engineer and a communicator and an anthropologist. We didn't know anything about ecological restoration. And we only knew maybe 3 species of trees or birds and everything. So we loved to go to La Ilusión and contemplate everything. That was our favorite seed spot in that time, the La Ilusión. So in 2007, we met a neighbor who belonged to the Colombian Network of Civil Society Nature Reserves here in Colombia. It's an association that gathers all the landowners that want to conserve and that want to manage their lands voluntarily in a sustainable way. So in 2008, we became part of this organization. And we decided voluntarily to manage this land, not as a farm, but as a nature preserve. So there we learned about many other experiences in Colombia that taught us how to manage the land and how to organize our dream, because it needed some technical knowledge besides the knowledge of heart, the sense of the heart. So we worked on a management plan helped by Resnatur, the Colombian Network of Civil Society Nature Preserves. And we were transferred to Houston in 2008, so we have to leave Colombia for around 5 years. And we came every year or once a year to Colombia and see the forest. And the forest was growing and growing. And it was a very nice experience to see. So La Ilusión in Spanish have different meanings. So it can be an illusion, but it's hope as well. When we were living in Houston, in Texas, we have this hope of coming back to Colombia and do something for the forest. So that's why La Ilusión is called La Ilusión. And in 2019, we created, my husband and I, we created Fundación El Bosque y La Niebla as a way of private governance and funding, because we realized that we needed to share the knowledge that we have been gathering for all these years. And many people wanted to help La Ilusión as well, to restore La Ilusión. So we have to find a way to communicate in another levels, on another dimensions, with the government, with another NGOs, or another nature preserves in the zone, for example. And it was a very, well, a challenge, actually, to know about how to run an ONG. But right now we have been in the road for 5 years now, I guess. And it has been an amazing experience. And it's the forest who has invited everyone. So I am in ANFT because the forest, and it's the forest who has led us through this path. So in 2021, we were reported to WCMC, is the World Conservation Monitoring Center of the UN. And we were reported as the first OECM in Latin America and the Caribbean. So what is a OECM? It's a very technical term, but it's Other Effective Area-Based Conservation Measure. Those are areas that are achieving the long-term and effective in situ conservation of biodiversity. So we are complementing the job that the protected areas are doing in Colombia and in the world. OECMs right now want to, ¿cómo se dice? Aportar. Support. Want to support the 30 by 30 goal, which is to conserve the 30% of ecosystem by 2030. So right now, Colombia has reported 60 of these experiences. Japan has reported 90 and Sweden 1,000. So it is another effective way of recognize the civil society work on this topic. So in 2024, this year, we were certified as a forest therapy preserve. And it's been a joy to have this certification because we work a lot with Holly Joe and the ANFT team to certify the place. I started to certify our main trail, but we ended up certifying the whole place. And right now we are looking to include another ways of communication. I mean, we are including, for example, Braille in the trail as well. So where are we located? We are located in Colombia, kind of in the middle of the country, in the Andean region, in the Eastern Mountain Range. And the La Ilusión is 45 hectares of land, or 110 acres. And the altitude is between 26 and 2,900 meters. This is one of the views from Nature Preserve La Ilusión. And this is the snow peak El Ruiz, or Kumandai. Kumandai is an indigenous word that means beautiful bench. So this is just to show you how the Eastern mountain range looks like. So I would like to remind a little bit what is a cloud forest, which is different of a rainforest. A cloud forest, in short, is a net that intercepts clouds. It's a net of trees and flora, fauna. And those are located in this part of the world. And cloud forests right now are endangered. By 2001, they occupied 0.4% of the global land surface. And they are characterized by the high endemic species that depends on the clouds. So what is happening in Colombia? The area of cloud forest is decreasing quickly because we have fragmentation due to deforestation and climate change. So we can see here, this is the flying river. Clouds are named flying rivers as well. So this is part of La Ilusión, and this is a huge amount of clouds coming into the forest. So La Ilusión is here, and as you can see, we are kind of isolated here. The dark green parts are the most conserved forests. But if Apache forest is not connected, is condemned to extinction. So we had two missions: to restore inside the reserve, and to connect the preserve to this big escarpment here. So we started to work in both of those objectives. So in the first objective, or basically restoring the forest inside the preserve, because we have an area which had a pristine cloud forest patch, but we have another areas that needed some restoration. So here you are looking at an aerial view of one of the first planting tree activities. So the forest has brought the help of generous experts in restoration. I have to say that Orlando Vargas Rios is a professor, and he's one of the top voices of in Colombia about restoration, ecological restoration. He has helped us, but the other person who has taught us how to restore the forest is the forest itself. So this is a comparison between the forest in 2007 when we acquired the land, and here is another picture taken in 2020, and we haven't planted trees over there, just the forest has grown by itself. This is another area, so you can compare. So who lives there? Not only humans. So we have, sloth, the Colombian hairy dwarf porcupine, and the tigrillo or ocelot is shorter than ocelot, is one of the felines in Colombia, which is protected and is vulnerable right now. So when the forest started to restore by itself, we started to see more and more birds, insects, butterflies, hummingbirds, mammals, everything. So we were very, very amazed with this, I don't know, this life coming again. This is La Ilusión again. So the other objective that we had was, as I said, to connect the forest with another patches of forest, of cloud forest in the region. In that region, this is La Ilusión. Can you see the arrow or the cursor? Yeah. Okay, so this is La Ilusión here. And we wanted to connect in every direction. So in that time, I was studying my master's degree and in anthropology, and my research was about how the urban subjects imagine rural areas and how that influenced the management of lands. It was kind of a self-ethnography as well. So we, based on the results of that research, we realized the obvious that we have to touch hearts to connect this land. So it wasn't only the technical part, it wasn't only the biological or the biophysical part of the forest, because there were human hearts deciding what happening to that cloud forest. So we wanted to touch hearts, and we didn't know how long that would take, but we wanted to do that. So this landscape, this aerial and satellite view, really looks like this. Many people in that land make decisions. Many people have born in this land, and there were a story before us. So we have to recognize that we were just like we were, ¿cómo se dice? Estábamos transitoriamente. I'm sorry for the Spanish. I just, yeah, it was, we were just invited to this land, and we needed to make decisions and be part of this community, not only landowners. Okay, so based on the findings of my research, I identified factors that affected the dissociation between human being and nature in the regions. I defined a communication strategy based on reconciliation. So I wanted to talk with decision makers. And who were decision makers? Landowners, public officials, and rural children. But something was missing in my communication strategy. Traditional social communication tactics for me weren't enough, because normally you will design a plan and you will see, okay, I'm going to plan a workshop and everybody come here and I will let you know what is cloud forest and everything. So I wanted to communicate in that way. I mean, scientific knowledge is important, but something was missing. I wanted people to move. And in those readings, in all this work for my thesis, I was reading a lot of papers, and in one of them I found these words, Midori no Sawaku, which means green deserts. It was about forests in Japan. In the same article, or I don't remember, it was many years ago, but I found the words Shinrin Yoku on Shinrin Ryoho Satoyama Forest Therapy. So that was the first time I thought I have to go to Japan someday. And see. So I was interested in what I have found, the forest therapy concept, and looking, I found this caption in the ANFT website that caught my attention, and I knew that I want to become a certified forest therapy guide and integrate this practice in the restoration process, the socio-ecological restoration process of La Ilusión. So I realized that it was the answer to my, or the piece that was missing in my strategy. And I see forest therapy as a way of communication, as not only as a practice, but it's a way of communication. So I integrated in the reconciliation process between ecosystem restoration and social fabric restoration. So it's in the middle of this strategy. So we started to work to connect people and connect the cloud forest through connecting people. So we invited all our neighbors, and we have been inviting everyone to experience forest therapy, so they can feel the land or the soil, the forest in a different way. And I think it has been very successful, because it's different when you see the land as the entity that is providing you money. It's different when you see the land as another being, as a being that is interrelated with you. So this is La Ilusión, and these are another nature preserves in the region, here and here. And we wanted to talk with all these landowners in the middle, so we can connect the forest with this bigger patch. This is one example. Rafael is a medical doctor that has always cultivated his land. He's a neighbor of La Ilusión. And he has witnessed how the recovery of La Ilusión has improved his water aquifers. He and his family have participated in various relational therapy forest therapy sessions. And right now he has decided to set one part of his land for forest restoration. He is right now, this area right now has at least 300 trees planted by us right now. And he is another person. He is very, very happy right now. And he is eager to see his future forest as well. You have been working with another landowners, sharing our experience, and they have been participating in forest therapy as well. So it's not only all the technical stuff about ecological restoration, but is the reconciliation with their nature through forest therapy. So one of our another target group was rural teachers and students, because we consider that they are going to be the decision makers of the future, and they maybe are going to own land, and they are going to decide what is going to happen to that land and the forest and all the beings in there. So we invited, with no cost, these teachers and students to participate in forest therapy sessions. Since 2021, more than 100 participants, 1,000 participants have been in La Ilusión, enjoying the sessions and relating in another way with these beings, like this big tree here. So we are always in the middle of the contemplation world and the scientific world. So this year we published this paper titled "Effect of Mindful Immersion in Nature on Perceived Well-Being in Preteens and Adolescents." That was a very nice work. It was a collaborative work with Fundación Colombiana del Corazón, in which we have 64 volunteers between 12 and 19 years old. Their mood was measured before and after the sessions. We used the Relational Forest Therapy sequence, and the results were amazing. I mean, we already knew that, but we needed to put it in a paper so we can convince the medical community here in Colombia and in Latin America, and I guess in the world. Talking about these topics is always involve papers and articles and some authorities as well. So some of the sentences, "The forest doesn't judge me," those with adolescents was a quote that I heard many times. "The forest doesn't judge me." For how long did I sleep? Many of the students needed to sleep, so they just take the time to sleep. And another sentence: "We don't move, nature moves us." "This place embraced us among its branches, told us its secrets, and listened to ours. And the forest became our safe place." For me, that says all. I think if you have a good relationship with nature since you are a kid, you have more chances to be a better human being when you are adult. So for this is, I guess, is the beginning of a bigger study. So we set some of the foundations of this kind of studies with preteens and adolescents. So plan forward. We want to document the effectiveness of relational forest therapy as a communication tool in the restoration and connectivity process of cloud forest in the area. And after I participated in the Japan Shinrin-yoku tour last year, the first one that ANFT and Future with Forest organized. And for me, it was a very nice experience. And I realized that we already have some, in Colombia, we have native conifers. And we decided after that trip to Japan to continue researching about phytoncides in native flora species. So right now, our donors are endorsing or are supporting this researching in the cloud forest of La Ilusión. And enrichment, we will continue enrich the advanced restoration with Colombian native conifers and other species that have a high amount of terpenes or polyphenols. I think polyphenols is not the spelling, but polyphenols. This is a photo of little Colombian pines, Retrophyllum rospiglosi. We have been propagating them. This is the nursery of La Ilusión, one part of the nursery, and we were researching how to propagate these species in a proper way, so we can enrich the forest in La Ilusión and in some areas as well, not only La Ilusión, but in the farms that are interested in restore the corridor. Some announcements I would like to share with you. We are going to be in COP16. We are going to talk about how relational forest therapy has been one of our tools for bringing well-being, and how forest therapy has became as well as a way of development in our community, because more people has experience right now forest therapy, but right now they hope that this practice became another way of to get money for them. So not only the potato crops, or not only another economical activities. So it is an alternative economical activity as well. And that was something that we learned in Japan as well, that Japanese know very well of, and they call it Sampo-yoshi. And Sampo-yoshi basically is we work for us, yeah, but we work for a community and we work for the forest. So we are applying this concept as well in some way in La Ilusión. So you are cordially invited if you are going to be in Cali, Colombia, for the COP16. We are going to share panels here in this event that was organized by Smithsonian and Instituto Humboldt in Colombia. Besides, we are going to be one of the experiences, official experiences, that the COP16 is offering to people who is coming to Colombia and see and experience tourism. We are not a tourism experience yet, but this is a test. But right now we were selected as one of the experiences. And oh, there is the other one. And okay, so on behalf of all the beings of the cloud forest, I would like to thank you all. And if you have any questions, please feel free of share it. Thank you, Gita, and thank you all.
Thank you, Natalia, for this super inspiring presentation. It's incredible the work that you have been doing, and I feel it speaks very loudly to what you said in the beginning of the presentation, following our hearts and trusting the forest and listening to the forest. So I'll just weave in the questions. Amos, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I don't really have a question, Natalia. I just want to express my gratitude and respect to you and those who you're working with for this really beautiful work you're doing. It really is at the very heart and essence of at least what was my vision for ANFT when we started it, was to see these kinds of things come up all over the world. And so I just feel a lot of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Amos, and thank you, ANFT, for being such a great organization. I think this is reciprocal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amos. Anyone else want to field the question for Natalia? Maybe you can raise your hand. You have the bottom of your screen, you have the option to raise your hand so I can weave you in.
Let me see. We have Gita.
Go ahead, Natalia.
No, oh, no, no, just thanks for all the comments. And my email, I think you were asking me to share my email. I saw some, yep.
It's not me. There's lots of people in the room that are named as me, but it's not me. Sorry, I have a glitch in the Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I see the comments. Thank you.
But it would be great if you could add your email address in the chat.
Yeah, sure. My email is, I will going to write it here. It's dirección, it's very long. Dirección at Fundación El Bosque y la Niebla.org. And what is the exact definition of cloud forest? So, okay, cloud forest is an ecosystem who depends on the amount of clouds, of water in the clouds. So let me just to share this again. I'm sharing. Yep, you can see the
Yes, we can see your presentation.
All right. So in planet Earth, we have something called cloud currents or flying rivers that goes around the tropic mainly. And all the forests or jungles that are in that in the equator, a little bit above or behind the equator, receive this amount of water receive this amount of water through the leaves of these flora species. So what happened is that the water, the little drops of water that are in clouds or in mist, for example, those this is, for example, the water drop, and this is the leaf, and the leaf just catch the water drops. And when you see in the mornings, for example, I am sure Manuela, who lives in Costa Rica, have experienced this as well. You will see that the leaves are full of water, and maybe it hasn't rained, but you can see this water in the soil because all these trees are catching these water drops. And through the, ¿cómo se dice, tronco?
Trunk,
through the
trunk.
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 Okay, thank you. Through the trunk and the roots, the water goes from the sky to the earth and goes inside. So they enrich the subterranean water aquifers, and it's all the cycle. Yeah, but not all the forests in the world receive this kind of mist. So they are very special, and as I showed, it's just the 0.4% of the total land in the earth. So right now we are paying more attention to the Amazon, for example, and other the dry tropical forest as well, for example, and maybe cloud forests are being neglected. So it's kind of a fashion, you know. Sometimes Amazon is in fashion, and other depending on the trend. But what is truth is that everything is connected. The Amazon wouldn't be nothing if the Andean region wouldn't exist. So it is a cycle. It is a cycle. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Thank you, Natalia. There's another question for you in the chat, and I'm going to read it out. It looked like a lot of the land that separates the bits of cloud forest is cultivated. Are you asking the landowners to switch from agriculture to silviculture?
No, we are not. Actually, to do that, we need, it is a combined effort. I think it's not only our responsibility, but is the public or the policies as well, and the way the government managed the economy as well. So what we are doing is just connecting people to this hidden world, because when you go, for example, to La Ilusión, you will see, before you arrive to La Ilusión, you will see potato crops, for example, or strawberry crops, or many plastic. Is because of they have flowers, okay, because they cultivate flowers, roses, for example, roses to export to the US or United Kingdom. So it's a landscape which has effectively a lot of agricultural production. But I think when they go to La Ilusión, or for example, in 2015, we have a really hard drought, a sequía. We had no water at all in that time in Colombia, but La Ilusión was full of water. And the neighbors were amazed. They were wondering why in La Ilusión they have this big amount of water and we are not. So that was one of the things that helped people to change their minds and say, okay, I have, for example, 100 acres of land, and I can dedicate 20 or 30% of that land to restore the cloud forest, so I can have water as well. So I guess it is a combined effort. So our mission is just to connect people with forest and make them speak.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for being with us. I don't see any more questions coming through. Thank you for a truly inspiring presentation.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Gita. No, I was reading a question here. Does someone know if then the redwoods in California are also cloud forests in a way? Okay, somebody. just answer. Redwood forests are a type of cloud forest with high moisture levels and persistent fog and vegetation levels. So I think one of the characteristics is the amount of species is different in higher altitudes, latitudes, and is different in the equator. So that's why Colombia and Costa Rica and Brazil, all of these places are known by its high amount of biodiversity. And so it's different. I love, and by the way, I love California and I love the redwoods. Just wanted to say that we are all connected by water.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for being with us and for sharing this amazing project that you are spearheading. We're going to continue our day. So for now, we're going to have a break until 9 a.m. Pacific, where we will have our next session, which will be Nature and Forest Therapy Programs in Tourism. Stories from the Field with Giovanna Ranieri and Beata Zablix. I think that's how we pronounce her name. All right. Thank you so much,